In this video, I'm going to be showing how to seam up two edges using the mattress stitch, and I always do a kind of slipped stitch style selvage, and I did write a note at the beginning of my Linden button up vest pattern that this is what I do. And so if you did this and then you went ahead to try to do the mattress stitch, it probably looks a little bit different than you're used to. And part of that is just the different selvage, but the other part is that one of the sides you're carrying yarns up the side, which is very distracting. And then also because of slipping the stitch, this edge stitch right here is color B going into color A, and that's for some people going to be a little bit harder to match up when you're looking at, like, I want to line up these stripes with these stripes and so on. A couple other little things. Some people like to block their pieces before they seam up, and some people prefer to not block. In this particular case, I most of the time don't block beforehand. This one happens to be blocked because it's my real gauge swatch, and this one is not blocked, so we'll be having some fun there. But what you'll need in order to do this is a tapestry needle and a smooth yarn. It can be any color. I decided to go with a totally contrasting color, but most of the time I'd probably suggest the color A for this. I wouldn't suggest seaming with the fuzzy yarn, even though it's thinner, because fuzzy yarns just, they grab a lot more, and so that's not necessarily ideal. So for this, you're going to want enough yarn basically to go from here to there, and then a bit of a tail. And so I like to have, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches worth of excess at the top and also at the bottom. And so I'll just cut myself a piece of yarn, but really the actual seam takes barely any more yarn than is the actual length of your piece that you're seaming up. And so let me go ahead and thread my needle here. To start the mattress stitch, I like to do a figure 8 right here, and what that means is, so I'm going into the very, very bottom stitch right here, and I'm coming up and through, leaving myself a tail, and then I'm going to take the other piece and find the very, very bottommost stitch, and I'm going to come up through there. Now to complete that figure 8, I'm going to now come back through the exact same stitch right here, so you can see that's the exact same spot as I had come through before. And then you can just cinch that up. It doesn't have to be super tight yet, because we will tighten that up later. And then the next thing I look at is where my next kind of stitch would be. So you can go into this one, the same one as before, and then up past, see the bar right there? So then you can go through that, and again, you can be nice and loose right here, and then find the match on the other side. up and through there. And then I'll do the exact same thing over here, next bar. So you can tell that you're going through this section already, so you can go up past that bar right there, and then the same on this side right here. So this section already has something, and so up and through. And at this point, I am going to just cinch that up. Alrighty, and so now the trickier parts. I'm transitioning from one yarn to the other, so I'm going to be going into this section and up through there. You can see the transition of yarn right here. And then right here, you won't have that transition because we've slipped and we're still in that old section. Now, on this side where we don't have any yarn carried up, we'll just do it like normal and up and through that with the bar, just that normal next section. And then this time I want to make sure, so this is that yarn that was carried up right here, so I want to make sure that stays on the side that's going to be hidden, and then up and past that bar right here. And again, find the next bar. Again, carried up yarn stays to the side, so I wouldn't go on this side of it. You can see the yarn's right there, but rather on the other side. And then I'm going to go past that bar right there, and you can cinch that side up. And now every once in a while I take a quick glance at where my stripes are, and every once in a while I have to back up, and that's totally fine and actually totally normal. So I'm going to go past the bar here, and on this side I'm actually going to take that bar right there and then also this bar right here, so that because I've crossed one of the garter stitch bars right here, I want to make sure that when I'm returning, I'm also crossing past a garter stitch bar right there. Alrighty, and so one side's going to be pretty much simple, almost the exact same mattress stitch that you've probably already used to, and the other side just takes a little bit of eyeing to make sure you keep the carried up yarn in one place and that transition line happens nicely. So we're going to hit another transition here, and so I'm going to go up and through, push that over. Now I'm about to do on this side here one of the new yarns, so through that bar, and then make sure, because that's the first crossover, you want to make sure you're already in the stockinette, otherwise you won't line up. So then I'm going to cinch tight again, and there's your seam coming together. And I'll just keep going up, so through the bar like normal, and then make sure you have your carried yarn on the side that will be hidden, and then through the bar, and then another one right here. And I'm sorry that the lighting's just not as ideal as I'd like it. Seattle's just got really tricky weather for filming things. Okay, and here's another transition. So I'm going to be on this side going through the bar where I have my first garter bar, and so when I come back over here, I want to make sure that no matter what I'm doing, I am going through the garter bar side here too. And then when we cinch up, we are lined up right there. You'll also note that even though this yarn's pretty see-through and everything, unless you're pulling really hard, even in this section, you're not seeing the other color yarn. And so that's one of the almost magic things about this. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this up here. Okay, and again, first transition, and so we've got to make sure that we're on our first transition on this side as well. I'm going to cinch that up a bit more again, and then first time into the garter bar. So making sure that on this side we are also making sure that our stitch matches into the garter bar. And when you get to the end, there's not exactly that same need to do that figure 8 or anything, but sometimes I still find it nice to just have that completely done there. And so there is your finished seam.